welcome you all to our new episode of podcast Affirmation. And we have Karla Ilicic, our fitness, nutrition, and health coach, and Sarah Humphrey, our mental health coach. So I would today, and I am Dr. J, the founder of JoyScore, would try to mostly be observing and let Sarah start today with the podcast. Go ahead.
All right. Well, today we're talking about affirmations. So Karla, do you want to tell us a little bit about what affirmations are and what they mean to you?
So affirmations, in my practice, where I have a lot of people that I've talked to throughout the years, and basically affirmations in the beginning seemed to just be some words that you would keep on telling yourself and repeating like mantras in the morning to kind of start your day. And people started to put them on post-its and then have them all around their house, especially like on their mirrors in the bathroom or somewhere. And then as years went by, people started realizing that affirmations are more than that. They're more than looking yourself in the mirror saying, you're amazing, you can do this, you're strong, you're powerful, and all of that. Because in the beginning, when it all started, there was a trend like in a lot of TV shows and films and everywhere where it was kind of even mocked, basically. So I believe that affirmations today can be a lot of different things. They can be verbal and they can be nonverbal as well. You can give yourself and create an active affirmation that doesn't have to include words at all. It can just be something that you do on a daily basis that basically affirms that you're ready to tackle the day or something like that. So I think that they can be a great vessel to kind of bring positivity and tackle stress in your life. But I also think that people need to step away from the looking yourself in the mirror and saying, you're amazing, you got this, because that's how it all started. And if you mention affirmations to a lot of people, that's what they're going to think. So I wanted to kind of break that little bubble.
One of the things I heard, like sometimes we lack motivation.
Yeah.
And affirmation has that component of motivation in it to reaffirm, reassure, and feel that you're motivated. Because sometimes that's the starting point.
Yeah, it's you're kind of giving yourself a pep talk basically with them, but they're much more than that. Because it's not just like what you repeat and what you say you end up believing in, but basically it's kind of giving you a different perspective on things. Because let's say you're in a very difficult situation and you don't know whether to go with option A or option B. And if you're only looking at it from the perspective of someone who doesn't know what to do, you're going to be in a very difficult position for a long time until you actually figure it out. But if you give yourself the pep talk, let's say that you are, you know why you're doing this, you've put your pros and cons, you've assessed the situation, you know how to deal with this, you have the power to do it, it's in yourself, you don't have to listen to people around you, then maybe you'll start seeing that from a different perspective. Maybe then you'll shed what others think, what others feel, what you think you should be doing for others. And once you take all of those filters away, that's when you might realize that your option was A all along. Because basically you gave yourself the affirmations that you were telling yourself and trying to build up your strength and courage gave you a new view in a way. This is like a very, banal situation, but I think that we can kind of have that in every situation that we're dealing with. So whenever you're giving yourself some benefit of the doubt through your affirmations, you're actually allowing yourself to look at a certain situation from a different perspective. And that's what I think affirmations should do for you. They should give you that that strength and courage to believe that you know what to do. Because you're kind of, usually people go about it in a way that they don't believe in themselves enough. They're not secure enough, they're insecure about what they want, what they need, what they should be doing. They think about what other people want from them. They think about what they think they should be doing. And basically, once they're in that situation, it's very hard to trust your own instincts. And affirmations are there to help you do that, basically. And it starts from the silly, you got this, you can do this. And it transfers to, meditation, to being mindful, to talking to someone, because it takes guts to go to somebody and to therapy, let's say, and to talk to someone. It's not easy, but if you give yourself, if you go to the therapist and you always feel good after therapy, go talk to her or talk to him and you'll feel better. So you're giving yourself some sort of, a positive affirmation to go and do something. You're giving yourself the motivation, like you just said, to actually do it. And, it's the same with exercise, it's the same with eating well, it's the same with everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, Karla, something I learned in my mental health studies is like, we're always programmed to remember like the negative side of life usually, and affirmations kind of bring us back to a more positive, optimistic viewpoint. But I'd love to know, in your opinion, how often do you think somebody should do affirmations? Like once a day for the rest of their lives?
Well, I think it depends on the situation. I think once you start doing them, they kind of become your ritual in a way, whatever they are. And sometimes they can even become very obsessive. And I've known people who wouldn't, they had post-its everywhere, and they wouldn't go, they wouldn't do anything unless they like read them all, and they're like, oh, now I feel good. And that's kind of the problem. That's why I wanted to say that affirmations are much more than, a written quote that somebody once said and you read it and now you feel great, because they kind of rely on it way too much. But I do believe that affirmations should depend on the situation. I think that if you're in a tough situation and you don't know what to do, then you have to look deeper into yourself and try to, like you said, look at the positive aspect. But I don't think they should be created as a ritual in a way that you should do them every morning when you wake up, because I think that's a wrong thing to do. Because affirmations are there for a reason. They're there to motivate you. They're there to help you. They shouldn't become like your morning routine where you're brushing your teeth and you're telling yourself, I'm so amazing, basically. Because it doesn't, it's not, there isn't a goal you're trying to achieve there. There isn't a real reason. Sorry, I have balloons. There isn't a real reason why you should be doing them every morning. Honestly, that's my opinion. I think that, they are there to help you for a certain thing, and then you let go until you reach another, problem, hurdle, whatever it is. That's how I see it.
Like Sarah, you were saying that sometimes you're programmed to think and remind ourselves of the negative stuff, and affirmation is positive.
Mm-hmm.
So if we try to use it selectively, when we think we can use it to help us, we should.
Yeah.
We should not be like, we should not become obsessive about it.
Yeah, not just obsessive, but also, when something becomes a ritual,
Right.
and that's also something that I've noticed with people, is you start thinking about it less and less, because you're just doing it automatically. So what's the point of an affirmation if you don't even believe in it? You're just saying it to say it, basically. Right. So.
Well, that's a good point. And obviously, confirmation is one of the keywords we had for today's. And that means a lot also, because sometimes if you're doubtful about anything, it becomes harder,
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely becomes harder, because then you don't know what to trust, anymore, whether it's your own thoughts, whether it's your actions, whether it's, just the notion that you can change something or do something. And that's where, affirmations are a great tool to help you kind of take a step back and, think to yourself, okay, I'm very much capable of, bringing this decision to life, but I just really need to think about it a little bit more. And yeah, so, the mockery of it, kind of shed, a bad light, let's say, on them, because you would see memes with people being like looking in front of their mirrors and just like standing there and saying something great to themselves. But I do believe that it helped a lot of people, even in that sense, especially when it comes to like weight loss and body image and stuff like that, because you're trying to tell yourself that, um you know everything, you can change everything. Basically, you don't have to starve yourself or running for 70 miles every 2 days, and that you got this, you can do this. Because the problem with people who are so insecure about themselves is that nobody else is telling them that. So that's why they need the affirmations to kind of tell it to themselves in a way, if you understand what I mean. So that's where the pep talk part comes in.
I mean, some of these other terms I'm looking at, like mindset, for instance,
Mhm.
that also has good meaning. In, and these terms can be like little tools you can pull out and use as they could be needed, but they all revolve around the concept of affirmation as
Yeah, because you're changing your mindset, basically. The whole point of this is to make yourself believe your own thoughts, your own actions, your own goals. You're not doubting yourself in what you're thinking and doing. And that's what affirmations are doing. They're kind of affirming your state and helping you trust yourself, trust your instincts, and not doubt yourself. Because a lot of people are having issues with that, and more people as we're going, because of this whole situation, because of how fast life is, of how easily replaceable everybody is today. And you get shut down, and then you get up, and then you get shut down again, and then you get up, and it's just how it works. And if you do that for more than like 2 times in your life, then of course you're going to doubt yourself in everything you do. So affirmations are there to kind of build up your confidence, to bring up that motivation that you talked about, because um it's hard to depend on others to do it for you, basically. And last year kind of proved that to us, because we were all isolated, we were all alone. And if you couldn't even talk to a friend, like, who's going to do it for you? You have to do it for yourself.
Yeah, I see the word attitude here. And I used to take this yoga class, and the teacher would always have us hug ourselves afterwards. And
Mm-hmm.
it was something that was so simple, but I feel like it changed my whole attitude kind of about how I was feeling about myself. And I've
Mm-hmm.
honestly never heard of nonverbal affirmations till now. So I'd love to know, like, are there
That is
others?
one of them. That is one of them. Yeah, I wanted to mention, I didn't want to say hug, but basically, give yourself some love in that way, or any other way. You can use your morning routine when you're massaging your face and putting on moisturizer to be like wash shying your face or something. um a nonverbal affirmation for me is something like that. It's an act of kindness towards yourself, where you are trusting yourself. You're giving yourself that trust to either do something, think something, or just feel something. So this one would be, let's say, feeling, you're giving yourself some love. You're giving yourself that moment of like, you need this. You need these 2 seconds to kind of feel good. And then an active affirmation that's nonverbal can also just be allowing yourself to indulge in some sort of self-care moment where you feel really good afterwards, whether that's exercise or watching a show that you love or reading a chick flick, or doing something that just brings you joy, in a way. And that is going to lift up your mood, and it's definitely going to make you feel better about yourself. So for me, that's like nonverbal affirmation, because you're trusting yourself to do whatever your body and your mind actually wants. You're not going against it in a way. um but yeah, I love that, the hugging part. It's really nice. We used to have a blanket when I was 14 years ago or something, when I was doing yoga. And we would put a blanket on ourselves every time in Shavasana. And then before we would get out of it, we would kind of like hug the blanket in a way, kind of like to feel the comfort. So that's also like kind of the same thing. So yeah, I think nonverbal affirmations can be a lot if you just think about them. Like anything that kind of makes you feel good about yourself, you know. It can be, you know, wearing a dress that you love, or putting on makeup, you know, whatever kind of makes you feel more confident and good about yourself.
I see you say the word love many
Mhm.
times, and our happiness and addiction coach, Connie, she talks about that it's very important to learn to love yourself.
Yeah, and it's like the hardest thing to do.
Hardest.
Yeah.
If you, and you know, and also what Sarah was saying, uh, the starting point of us coming out of any negative thoughts or dig ourselves into a hole is to learn to love yourself, because it's very powerful and it can
Mhm.
pull you out of a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
that's good. So I think it was a great discussion on affirmation. We can use it in many different ways in our life and
Yeah.
achieve our goal.
Yeah, I
So
think so
I
too.
thank you both for being part of this podcast, and we'll come back again in a week and talk about a new topic.
Sounds great.
Thank you. Have a